Tuesday is becoming like, it's like becoming a Skinner box style thing for me. Like my mouth just salivates on Monday night because I'm like, oh yeah, patch information or patch day tomorrow.
Wow. Wow.
It's good. And boy, this week did I get a feast. Fractured.
Wow. What is up, guys, and welcome to the VisualWood podcast.
Hello, everybody. Oh, we're
episode number 15.
Were we gonna do a bell at the intro? Let's talk about the bell first.
What do you mean? What do you mean the bell? There's no bell. What are you talking about? There's only the last question bell.
I thought we were gonna do like a bell for the intro and a bell for the outro
cowbell?
and a show tune at 20 minutes in. Make 'em laugh, it would have been wonderful.
Oh, with the explosions and the confetti.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, no, that was last week, wasn't it? Was that last week or the week before? I don't know.
Ooh, we just need something different every time. We're gonna run out of
ideas. Yes. Yeah. No. You never run out of ideas. If The Simpsons could do couch gags for like 12 years, and then when everyone's like, oh, they must be running out of ideas, revamp the intro to the entire cartoon and like add like 10 more gags every episode. Like,
wow.
Now there's something that flies across the screen at the start. Like Marge has got different stuff on in her shopping every week. There's always so much crazy good stuff.
What was that you just put down? You just put down a big drink or something. Are you drinking right now? I told you not to drink while we're doing this podcast.
Look, sometimes I need a little bit of a pick-me-up because we record late in the day, early in the day, whenever my crazy sleep schedule is determining the time of day.
It's like 9:50 my time right now.
Okay, yeah, and it's bedtime for me, which happens to be 3 p.m. Well, almost 3 p.m.
Oh my gosh. Wow, your schedule is terrible. Anyways, Fractured. It is the new patch. The new patch is coming out next week. Are you excited? Are you excited for Fractals of the Mist revamp? Really good revamp.
Fractured is a cool name for a patch. Don't you think? Don't you think Fractured is a cool name for a patch?
Of course.
Thank you. That you're not paying me lip service there at all, are you?
No. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, it's better than Tower. Well, I don't know.
The nightmares with Tower of Nightmares with no tower. Yes,
I don't know.
Anything is better than that.
Oh well, look.
Anything is better than that.
So, do you want to talk about this now?
Yeah. What do you mean? Yes.
No. Okay, yeah. Well, okay. Listen, right. So
you do that like the second time now. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, because I don't know if we want to talk about Fractured or not. But basically, the Tower Within. Have you been back since last week? Because we talked a little bit last episode.
Well, I have. Yeah, I have. I went in there to do some achievement stuff and get my daily done. Stuff like that, but nothing for the actual tower. Like, I didn't go in like, oh my gosh, I gotta do the tower thing. But no.
You didn't wake up with like this weird addictive desire to play Guild Wars 2, and the only thing that would sate it would be going inside the nightmare, the tower.
No. Any weird desire would be like World v World or doing some fractals or something like that. No.
Speaking of which,
no tower stuff. Yeah.
I am now like, I would definitely say I'm fully addicted to World vs. World.
All right,
definitely.
All right. You got into the beta as well, so we can talk about that after Fractured.
Okay, yeah.
So Fractured, they're revamping Fractals of the Mist, and we got like a really cool video as well. You guys should probably go watch that. Even though some people are saying like it's like a year old, like or not a year old, but a few months old, 6 months.
Can we say it's old? Like, it was May. So this trailer, I didn't know this. I did a video about this, and I didn't know this. There's a pretty interesting thread on the official forums where they talked about this trailer, and the fact it was actually made to be the original, like, release trailer for the Fractals last year. Which is crazy to me, but they never, like, had it done in time, I suppose, because they've been trying to refine the technology behind it. And they just waited and waited and waited for the next major release in the Fractals, which happens to be now.
Wow.
Which is kind of cool. So I was thinking to myself, oh wow, so this means that they've got all this interesting technology that, like, how cool would it be to see this trailer that we see here, but actually appearing in game, for every single Living Story patch. Now we get one of these trailers, because this does look. A lot of people are like, it looks the same as the Scarlet trailer we got in the Nightmare Within, but I sort of feel like it looks even better than that. Like, or different, don't you? You remember the one with Scarlet?
No, I think this is probably the best trailer from Guild Wars 2. It's right up there with Super Adventure Box trailer, even though it has nothing to do with the game entirely. But like, yeah, I think it looks a lot better. A lot better. The art style of it looks it makes it look more awesome than it is. Not saying that it's because of we already played the fractals that they're showing. Right, so it's just like we've gotten used to it. Not meaning like the game, the fractals is garbage, because I love fractals, but it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, we already played it.
I actually got a little bit nostalgic watching it, because after I got my 500 fractals, I've just said no way to that format anymore. I've just like left it dead for a very, very long time. But watching that trailer, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this little thing. Even though obviously it's not quite in-game footage all the time, but it did remind me of a lot of cool little things.
Yeah,
I can only imagine the hype if that trailer had come out before the original fractals. I'd also wonder why.
Yes.
Like this time last year.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, this time last year, since launch, we'd had 3 updates. 1 update, really. We'd had Halloween, that was it. And at this point this year, we've had like so many more, if you count it from release. But what I'm curious as to whether did they do a trailer like this for Halloween last year then?
Yeah, they did. They did the laughing of the guy, Mad King.
Yeah, but that was just like, wasn't that just like flyovers of Lion's Arch or something?
Oh, yeah. Usually it's flyovers. You're talking about a trailer like this?
Yeah, because this was their plan last year, right? So I was wondering whether maybe they did that for Halloween too, or they just didn't have it worked out for ages. I guess not. I mean, and they've had to wait until now to do this trailer, but I think that's really important. Like, we're both in agreement this was a cool trailer, right?
Yeah, there has been 15 patches, maybe a little bit more.
Wait, what? Since the start of the year?
Oh, no. Way more than 15 patches.
Yeah. Well, maybe in the past couple of months. Well, no. Look, if it's 2,
about 20-ish patches, including Fractured, since the beginning of the year.
See, that's actually pretty crazy, and we will be seeing more as well. Because don't forget, the first 6 months of this year too didn't really have the double patches.
Right. Exactly. Next year is just going to be full of patches. Hopefully. Like Fractured, even though it's kind of hard to make these patches constantly every 2 weeks. Like they put a lot of pressure on themselves, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, for sure. But basically, the trailer is cool. It was done last year. I still sort of think it's a new trailer though, because we haven't seen it before. So you can't be like, oh, it's old. It doesn't mean anything.
I still think it's really fantastic. I'm glad they used it. Man. It would have been cool though if they put this out and then made another trailer like this for the new bosses and stuff that are coming. Oh, so let us talk about the stuff. There's gonna be a lot of changes, but one of the biggest things are going to be that there's gonna be 3 new fractals. 2 of them are not really new. Well, I guess they can be new. They're kind of like smaller versions of the Molten Alliance dungeon and the Etherblade dungeon. And then, of course, we're getting our Thaumanova Reactor dungeon. Well,
which
Fractal,
is split in 2 as well, really, if you think about it.
Yeah. Like, I can't wait. I can't
wait
for this.
Like, it sounds like, at first glance, like they're just going to add 3 things in, but they're sort of adding 6 things into the game, because you get Thaumanova Reactor story mode, then you get the Aetherblade hideout, Molten Facility, and then 2 new boss fractals as well, which is basically the end of those that swap in and out of them. That's so cool. Like, this is one of those situations of under-promising, over-delivering. That's not the way you say it, is it?
I don't know.
No, come on, you don't overpromise people and underdeliver. It's the opposite of that. They said that they were going to do some stuff, and they've done a lot more.
Oh yeah, and they all right. So they basically redid the difficulty through 1 through 30, right? And now after 30, there's going to be like all sorts of difficulty buffs to it, and they reset everyone who is over 30 to level 30 because now there's leaderboards now, and now level 30 is like something totally new. Like they started to add, I guess, difficulty curves. What are they called?
Mistlock instabilities.
Mistlock. There we go.
And the idea is every level, so every set of 4 fractals you do, including a boss, there's some gambit of some kind. I don't know. They've been very vague about what exactly they do, but it will apply to all of those, and you sort of have to fight your way through, and it changes it. So what I find quite interesting about the fact they added leaderboards, I was first excited because I thought to myself, oh my god, this is going to be great. It truly is an infinite dungeon. That's the thing with Fractals. They're the infinite dungeon. And I thought, okay, right, we'll have the leaderboards and, we'll get to a point where people are like scale 300 and you can't look at a dredge without it, scratching behind its ear and the dandruff kills your entire team. And you get to that point and everyone's sort of stuck there, but then one group manages to break ahead. And, the leaderboards are this exciting place. That's how I thought it was going to be. And apparently they've just left it at 50. Like, it's still capped at... Did you hear this? That it's still capped at 50.
What?
So, there is none of that. They've added leaderboards, but there's still a hard cap in Fractals of the Mists that means once you get to scale 50, you cannot go any higher. So what exactly is the leaderboards tracking? The scale people have reached? Because surely they can see...
I never knew it was capped in the first place. I never knew it was capped.
Well, right now, it's capped because armor agony resistance, once you go over a certain level of agony resistance, it doesn't matter how much more you add to your armor. The game sort of bugs out or doesn't register it. So when you get to level 50 in Fractals of the Mist right now, and you do the Jade Maw, if you remember, Jade Maw hits everyone really hard with agony, and he's got this specific bug. That just means everyone insta-dies no matter how much agony resist you've got. So you can't get any higher unless you do really weird, annoying tricks that make it a terrible grind to go any higher and very, very difficult and gimmicky, okay? So basically it's capped at 50 right now. There are people that are higher, but it's basically capped. And when this update goes through, it sounds like they're just making that a proper solid hard cap because they're changing the way agony resistant stuff works anyway, right? So they're stopping it all at 50 for Fractals of the Mist, full on, while adding leaderboards. So this could mean two things. Number one, they're being very short-sighted, which I highly doubt. Or number two... Okay, it could mean three things. Number two, that going from level 30 to level 50 is insanely difficult. It is so unbelievably difficult that ArenaNet cannot conceive of everyone getting to scale 50. They can't conceive of it whatsoever. And in that situation, the leaderboards still make sense because once a month, someone might get to another level or something, might figure out the next instability. That's option number two. Do you think that's particularly viable?
Sure, it might get difficult to kind of scale it above 50 and do all that stuff. So yeah, I guess I can see that. I think
the worry with that option is devs, not just ArenaNet, but devs in general often underestimate the abilities of their player base. Mm-hmm. They'll be like, oh, this is the super hard elite dungeon, yeah, this will take people months to finish. Boom, it's done in 2 hours, and then all the players are asking for more difficult content, and that happens frequently with Guild Wars 2. Look at it, even at launch, they do the personal story. Zaitan fight is completely unfinished, and they probably on some level, this is just my speculation, but on some level thought to themselves, yeah, it will take everyone ages to finish the personal story, though. Getting level 80, that will take them weeks. Maybe one super nerd will get to the end, but it doesn't matter, and we'll patch it in time. All of a sudden, 3 days later, everybody's seen the Zaitan fight, everybody's crying about it, and they decide, oh, well, we won't fix it anyway. Anyway, so I feel like ArenaNet does have a track record of this, and if they really are going this kind of, oh, we're doing leaderboards, it's still capped at 50, but don't worry, because it's so hard to get there, if they're going with that route, I don't know whether they will fully estimate how good their players can be at clearing dungeons and stuff. So I have to see that. Or number three, okay, option number three is they're expecting everyone to get to level 50 on the leaderboards, but after level 50, they're very soon hoping to do another update to the Fractal of the Mists that expands it to 60, and then 70, and then 80, and so forth.
Oh, so levels, basically, like character levels.
Sort of, yeah, a weird way.
You get, during those levels, you actually get some really good gear or something like that.
I don't know.
No one else can get some type of reward, hopefully, or more chance to get the fractal weapons or stuff like that. Maybe.
Yeah, there has to be incentive. I think at a certain point, there has to be an incentive beyond just getting on the leaderboards.
Yeah.
But they're for the very, very max stuff, I think maybe that the leaderboards themselves will be the incentive, and that should be okay for people in that community. But it's curious, and I wonder, because obviously, they've got these mistlock instabilities. Do you think they're designing a specific one for every level? Like level 31's got one, level 32, level 33. Do you think they're doing it that way?
No, it might be random. I think it might be random. And people will like want the certain insta lock. Not insta lock. What am I saying insta lock for?
Insta lock. Armor lock comes to Guild Wars 2.
Well,
we played Halo Reach and really enjoyed it. Our favorite thing was the armor lock ability. That's basically dodge rolling, if you think about it.
Armor lock ability was horrible in Halo Reach. Absolutely horrible. It was a cool idea, but
it was cool, man.
So easily misused. Or,
someone fires a rocket at you, and you just pop your insta lock. Oh my, what's it called? Armor lock. You could just armor lock before they hit you, and then you just melee them in armor lock. Dude, it's OP, man. I'm pretty sure they fixed it. They did patch it. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did.
But all right. To get a certain gambit, right? They're probably going to keep resetting it. I wonder if they're going to stop people from doing that, because usually when you go inside Fractal, especially those hard ones, I've been on a level 41 and we reset it to get the swamp, because the swamp is the fastest, and I would say it's easy. But you go straight to the boss. You don't have to worry about.
Oh, it is easy. Yeah, if you know the routes and stuff, definitely. And there's that trick with Mesmers in the swamp where they steal the agony attack. Have we talked about that in VisualWood?
No. But we don't have to. So, anyways, they're adding to a lot of changes, right? So, Fractal difficulty. Oh, don't die there.
No, I'm good.
Don't die. Now Fractals is account bound. It's actually pretty good, right?
Yeah. So I mean, that gets rid of that. I'm pretty happy that I'll be able to pug and stuff on some of my ults. Like I've got level 80 Necro that I've just never used, and I want to use in Fractals, but I can't be bothered
all the way up.
Yeah. So that
you get all these rings, and you just put it up on your other characters, so your other characters have agony resistance, and you don't have to worry if you want to change to your Necro or Elementalist or Guardian. You can just switch to that if if your party needs it. I think it's a lot better, and there's a lot of these changes going in to I guess they're trying to get people to get back in there and try it out again, because now the rewards, right? You get a daily chest, right? Now the bosses are on every Fractal. Like there's no opposite. There's no one. I mean, there's no 2 and then 4 and then 6. Now it's just 1, 2, 3. There's going to be a boss at the end of every Fractal.
Which is also good for bugging, because at the moment, I think I'm 38 or something, but I never went, before I got my 500, and I never went higher because I had to find someone who was at 40 because I didn't want to do 39 myself. I was at 39. It was annoying, but now you can just easily pug through whatever you want.
Right. I mean, it's good. Well, you can just get a 40 and be. Well, yeah, it's a little bit harder. Yeah, that's
the thing. It's a
little bit harder.
It's finding that person, and it's like, oh, if I just want to play with my guild and we're all of a certain level, but we don't want to do the odd ones, it's just a pain. That's now not there.
So now you get a daily chest, and then you get a Imperial Fragments, Fractal Relics, Pristine Fractal Relics, and Gold. And now they added, starting at level 10, Fractal Weapon Skins, Ascended Rings, and Ascended Weapons, starting at level 10.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And infused Ascended Rings at level 20. So they're really getting people like, okay, you don't have to go up too far. You can just go up to level 10, and then boom, you can get all this cool stuff. It may be a low chance, but
yeah, but the rates will be low. Yeah. I like the Ascended Weapons are there, because when Fractals first came out, they were like the place for the piece of Ascended equipment, right? The rings. And, Ascended rings were really cool to get. And now, like, I think Ascended Armor is in that, Ascended Weapons are in that, like, really cool gear to get place. Like, I'll be really happy if I open that chest and I find myself, holding any Ascended weapon of any kind of stat, that would be cool. And it sort of returns Fractals to that place. But what do you think about the Fractal weapons being in that chest? Because that annoys me a bit. Do you like that? You
Why?
Just like, yeah. It annoys me because they have a bit of prestige associated with them right now.
Right.
And
not
now
many people have them.
Yeah, and they're frustrating to get and very RNG to get. But, they've got that. There's something unique about them. And if now these new like loot tables and stuff just flood the game with fractal weapons, I feel like we're gonna lose something sort of special, you know. And I don't get why they did that. Why move it down to level 10? There's so much you're getting at level 10.
See, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I was like, they're changing and making people who just, you know, they didn't want to deal with fractals. People have this opinion of fractals that, oh, everyone who plays it is annoying and they hate each other and they're all elitist and stuff like that, which is not the fact. You get that anywhere you go, okay? It's not only fractals. It's in dungeons. It's everywhere. You're just having a bad experience. You know, use guildies. If you don't have guildies, find a guild. I mean, that's pretty much Guild Wars. You really need a guild with to really have a really good experience with other players and stuff like that. But because I've had bad experiences in fractals before. I mean, really long process, and I feel like they're making fractals a lot longer now because they're adding a boss to at the end of it, right? And I could only assume that it's not going to be easy as the Maw. And the Maw is pretty easy until you get to like level 40-ish. Level 40-ish, like that agony, it just kills you. Like, that's it. It just kills you. You ever been to level 41? I mean, 40, I mean?
I have been in a 40 fractal before, yeah. I know that the agony hurts a lot. The funny thing about that, though, is, like, the agony, you can experience agony that painful at the lower levels, too. Like, the very first people to ever go through it. I remember the first time I ever got to level 10 fractals and we played and none of us had agony resist because you just wouldn't when fractals first came out. You know, it hit like a truck even at the early levels too.
No, like when I mean hit, like, all right, you die as soon as it hits you. And
yeah, and
if
you've
you
got, like,
all
loads
die,
of skills.
if you all die and you try to get back to the Maw, it will just kill you again.
Yeah, as you jump across. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier as well. When you get to 50, it's that hard cap that just stops you being able to progress.
It's insane. It's insane. So that means you have to really survive that first push and try to like get healing up. Like I guess you can use the Guardian Tome. Like we try to use the Guardian Tome to heal each other right before we all die, so we can take a few extra hits of agony. You know, there's certain strategies like that to try to get over that hump. But it's like, holy crap, the Maw itself is easy, but the agony is what really kills it. And I don't know if I necessarily like how bad it was. You know, I think I have like 30, 35-ish agony resistance. I can't remember the number. But
yeah, I haven't kept track of that for ages now. Can you put agony resist on? I'm going to be such a noob here. Disclaimer, I don't actually have any ascended weapons because I play mostly on my Ellie that's already got ascended stat stuff. But can you infuse ascended weapons?
No, I think they're already infused with
Yeah, with agony resist though.
Wait, I don't ascended weapons or ascended.
Yeah, no, ascended weapons, like the ascended stuff that they're added. Could you just, like, when they added ascended weapons, what I'm asking is, could you then get even higher AR? I know that it doesn't matter because the more isn't coded to.
You have 2 slots and you could slot in 2 agony resistance.
Oh right, okay, well there you go.
So you could have 10 on one weapon. Yeah, it's good. Also they're adding 2 runes. No, a rune and a sigil. The Rune of Resistance, it grants bonus toughness and reduction to condition damage, and it eggs upon using a signet. Then the Sigil of Momentum, it grants a stacking of toughness buff every time you kill an enemy. So it's kind of like, you know, the healing ones and stuff like that, where it stacks up to 250.
Yeah, I really like the name of that one, Momentum. And then it's you know, it's this real idea of weight. As you grow, as it stacks up, you're getting stronger and stronger, more of a wall. I really like the name of that one. What do you think of those as a guardian? Like, because for me, looking at those, like particularly the runes, I know as an elementalist, I can make a cool spec out of that, a very cool spec. But you, as a guardian, you get signets, and ages is a big function of what it is to be a guardian, right? So do those runes excite you, or are you sort of like, meh? I'd rather keep my sanctuary, or...
The resistance, it's meh. Like, I rather not... I don't want to trade in my runes for that. I like my boon duration, and there's other rune sets as well that you can get up to 6. That's just better. I don't know, for me, it's just better. But momentum... there might be something to it. I never like these types of you know, kill an enemy type stuff, because as soon as you get down, it's gone. Or do you, unless you're farming, like when do you kill a lot of enemies, you know? I guess it would be useful for the tower, you know, killing a lot of enemies and then going up to the top. Any type of that content. But like if you go to Fractals, like it's useless. Like I don't even know why Fractals is giving it, because it's useless in Fractals. You get downed or you don't kill enough enemies in Fractals. I don't know. I guess it might be useful in some cases, but you just can't get downed.
I think it depends on the class you're playing, because like on NG, when I can just sit in the background and there's basically no risk of me going down. In fact, all my characters, I'm always running a sigil like that, because you can pump it up to 25, which I find happens a lot, and then you just swap to another weapon, but you get the bonuses anyway. Like, I do that all the time. I manage to swap it around. Yeah, but back to the runes. So, yeah, the toughness is whatever, but what do you think about getting Aegis from a signet, a block, every time you use a signet? Does that just... And I mean, that's a boon. That would give you healing and stuff, you know, that all your guardian traits can proc off of. Does it just not seem cool?
It does seem pretty cool, because if you're using a signet as a healing skill and you're like really low and you pop that, you can heal, get an Aegis
and maybe
as well.
even block any interrupts and stuff.
Right.
That'd be cool.
And if this Aegis really applies to guardian traits, then this could be really cool. You can do some really cool stuff with that. I don't know. I don't really use signets other than because I use a lot of shouts. I use signets for my healing skill, and it takes away a condition every 10 seconds. So I don't know, like I'd rather have that up I'd rather have the passive than using it. I only use it like in those times where I just really need it. And that's after I pop my renewed focus.
Yeah, see, on Ellie, I get a trait that means even if I pop my signets, I keep the passives on them. So runes like that are ideal, because I can keep popping it and, you know, get the Aegis and the benefits at the same time.
That could be really good.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. I'm looking for... And Aegis isn't something elementalists get, right? So, again, it's like another mechanic, another thing that sort of expands our repertoire a little. Also, the other thing I was curious about on this topic for you was, what do you think about where they're giving these as a reward? Like, because it's level 30, am I right? That you get these runes? These runes and this sigil are rewards and fractals only at level 30 and above? That's quite high.
Yeah, it is.
Does that concern you at all?
No, not really. They need to give incentive for level 30. Level 30 is going to be a lot harder than the rest of it. They're trying to slow people in. They're trying not to make it hard in the beginning so people can get over level 10. I'm assuming that's what they're trying to do with all these cuts with ascended weapons and stuff like that. Like, oh my gosh, you get ascended weapons at level 10. Like level 10 is where people stop. You know, people's like, you know what? I'm done, because that's when you're pugging at level 10, like before level 10, you know, you can get by with not knowing certain mechanics, right? But after that, agony starts hitting in. It gets kind of annoying, especially if people have no agony resistance and they just don't care. They're just going in just to go in because they want to feel casual. They want to feel like, oh, I can just go in and have fun. I just want to have fun, you know, which is fine. But it really hurts the team when you don't know what you're doing. All right, and you're not listening to chat, you know, no communication, you know. I've talked about it once or twice.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, like it doesn't even incentive. I don't know if I'm gonna be like, I'm going to level 30 because I want to get those sigils, unless I can sell them. That'd be
they're there. I think you've hit on it. I think it's quite smart that they've done this, because if they're trading postable, dude, there's actually going to be money to be made there.
Yes.
If they're trading postable and people want to use them for builds, then there's going to be money. And think about the runes as well. People need 6 of those. If it's a random chance to get just 1, and you need 6 for a full set, then those runes are going to carry some real monetary value behind them. And that's sort of the right kind of reward, in my opinion. You know, are you doing it for the rune yourself, or you've got the option to sell it and still, you know, no matter why you wanted to get it, getting it, you've hit the jackpot, whether you wanted to sell it or use it for yourself. So I actually think putting that up there at 30 is pretty cool.
I see, that's the thing I like. I like things being on a trading post. I don't like things like, you know, fractal weapons being on the trading post, because, you know, we kind of want that, oh, you go to fractals for fractal weapons, that's where you get it, instead of, you know, just buying on a trading post just because you have money. Because if farming solves everything in the game, then what's the point?
Yeah, you need to have a mix, definitely.
You definitely need a mix, you know. Like, you already can buy legendary, so it's just like, why even do anything else? So toss that in there.
It was subtle. I like it.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
And then at level 40, it's the tonic, right? But then that's account bound. So, like, that doesn't have this benefit.
Yeah, you can switch it to anything you want.
But again, that's kind of, you need a mix of both. The tonic kind of bores me unless it's like the Watch Night tonic, and then that'll be sweet.
No, don't do another Watch Night crap. What
are you talking about?
No, I like the tonic itself. I just don't like the mechanics behind it. You know, you only get there for 5 minutes and it's a 30-minute cooldown. I don't like that.
But you get to use it in combat. Ignore the cooldown.
It's amazing. It is the best tonic in game, and I love it. The thing is that it does that. I want to use it all the time. I just want to pop it.
Well, all I'm saying is I want the crate thing to be usable in combat as well. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not that I want it to have the same cooldown. Yeah, I think the cooldown was a bit too restrictive.
It'll be cool to play as the Moss Man.
Yeah, right? And then play in the fractals using fractal tonics. Oh, jeez. I wonder what the forms are on it as well. Do you think it's going to be like the cat golems and that's it? Or do you think there's going to be other stuff? Do you think you get to play as the
It says friends and foes, man. It's a lot. I'm assuming that's a lot. Friends and foes.
What the heck does that mean? Well, we're going to play as the Asura that lets us in. What other friends do we have?
Then you can pull out your legendary and it'd be really small.
Wow, you've got a thing in for the Asura with legendaries, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just.
We're people too, Matt.
that is your Asura impression.
I've explained this to Matt before, but not on VisualWood. Okay, the reason why we go for legendaries on Asura is because we have to. Everything else just you can't see it, so you have to go for the legendary. You have to go all flash. It is the video game equivalent of overcompensating because you don't have much junk in your trunk. That is exactly what it is. That's why I have 2 legendaries in Guild Wars 2.
Wow, you need 2. Man, you're really overcompensating, aren't you?
I have a very little Asura.
Zing! All right, so now we can talk about World v. World. I think we've pretty much finished Fracture. Oh, well, I guess we could say, are you excited?
I most certainly am.
I'm really
especially
excited.
with that trailer.
Yeah, I don't see any way how I cannot be excited about it. Like, this is so much there. Anyways.
Okay. Well, more interesting question on that.
Okay.
What are you more excited about? The fractals and the scaling, or the reactor being added with the story mode?
Reactor. I like
the
story. Yeah.
Oh, that's dangerous. That puts you in the camp of, I play the reactor for 5 minutes and then I'm done with a patch. See you next fortnight.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, it's not like I'm not excited for anything else, but you say what I'm most excited. I'm most excited for the new stuff. I want to see how cool because they did really good with those mechanics. I really liked the boss fight for was it Ether Blade or Molten? It was Molten.
One had the twin Dredge and Flame Legion.
The big, huge thing. That's the Molten. The Aether Blade is something else.
The Aether Blade facility was my Trin with all the big AoE circles.
Well, it was fun. That one was fun too. But I really like those boss mechanics. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to if it's, even if it's for the first week only, that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to play this dungeon and figure it out. Even
at
if
least
it's only for
week.
at least I'm happy to play it,
For sure, man. Yeah.
Because really, some of the patches has been out, and it's just like I play it, and it lasts a few hours, and I'm just not interested after that. And I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this. Yeah, exactly. Those 2 patches kind of just ruined me. Yeah. So you got into the beta for the new Edge of the Mist World v. World map.
Indeed, yes, I did, and it's very cool in there. I can sum up stuff that in general I've said before, I suppose.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what they do is it's not like open all the time. It's like if you think about the very first betas we had for Guild Wars, they were only open on the weekend and then they were gone. But these are really short windows you can play, and it has to be that way because they haven't invited too many guilds in just yet. So like there's not the numbers. So if they had it open all day every day, then you wouldn't have a concentration of people and you couldn't really test stuff. So it's not open for long. I had some technical issues starting it off that basically meant for a 4-hour period I missed the first 2. So I sort of and then I had very little time to sort of play around, especially while I was producing a video in there. But what I can say is it looks way cooler than I thought it would be. And it's also much bigger than I thought it would be. Like, I don't know, in my mind, I think, oh, world versus world map, okay. You know, and I've spent a fair bit of time going for my world versus world meta recently. And it's sort of, you know, the world versus world maps we've got at the moment, they're sort of plain, you know. If you think about it in your head, you think, yeah, we got a citadel up the top here, there's a keep on the left, there's a keep on the right, there's the bloodlust stuff in the middle, got a couple of towers, and there you go, right? And you don't think there's that much there, but they're big maps. Like, they are big maps. There's just not much visually going on. Like, it's just fields and fields and more grass and more grass and more tundra and more tundra. And I think when I say to someone, it's a new world versus world map, and you included here as well, like, it's a new world versus world map, there's a tendency to like, underappreciate how big a world versus world map can be if they really diversify the areas that are there. And that has been what was most shocking to me about this place. Because I went into it expecting a big map, but because of the density of, you know, different types of content that are in there, it felt way bigger than I was expecting.
Right. So there's like, you know, snowy places, and then they like basically different environments throughout the whole place, split up into like what, like 3 or 4 sections? Yeah,
so it's basically 3 sections, but it should be 4, I feel like.
Because the middle?
Yeah, because in the middle. So it's world versus world. You got 3 sides. Everybody's assigned a side. You got a snowy area with a Kodan. It's blizzards. It's freezing cold there. If you're in that area and you don't own the keep, then you're going to be freezing cold, and you're going to, you know, Fractals, the frostbite, and you get colder and colder and colder in that one. It's exactly the same out here, but in world versus world. So if you're an invader going for that keep, you're constantly having this debuff on you, draining your health unless you go to fires to warm your hands and keep yourself alive.
Wow.
But the people that own the keep have like the fire of the Kodan buff, and that means that you can walk freely around the tundra and the glacial area without having your health constantly drained away. Like,
wow.
And that's phenomenal. That's a really cool little mechanic. Anyway, we'll talk about the mechanics in a sec, but that's one area. You know, you got the tundra area. There's also a desert area. Tell me, Matt Visual, how many deserts have we had in Guild Wars 2?
None.
None.
Yet.
Boom.
Yeah.
No deserts. This is a desert, man. It's a desert, and whether that means that they've produced these assets because they're going to be doing Crystal Desert later, who knows? We can't really say. But you got a desert, and there's also a jungle area, which is the northern one, which is the one I've sort of seen the least of, but looks very much like sort of Guild Wars 1 Tarnished Coasty, I'd say. But you got the 3 like corners of the triangle, and then in the center there's like this big middle area, but the middle area sadly doesn't have like a very unique look, I'd say. Maybe it does because I haven't explored too much of the jungle area, but it looks very much the same as the jungle area. So it's sort of 3 areas, it's sort of 4, but then it's sort of 3 again at the same time. So that's what the makeup's like.
Wow. Because I was seeing some of the pictures, and it looks pretty damn cool, and then I saw you playing a little bit of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wonder how people are going to take to this after they actually get in. Are they going to be like, oh my gosh, a new map? And I wonder how many casual players are going to be in there. Like, oh, you know, players that just totally just like, I didn't feel like playing it. Playing World of War is not my thing.
I hope that because Edge of the Mists is so different and sort of so removed from well, it's not really that removed, but it's a different experience, and they can market it, but they can show it as being something different. I hope that it differentiates itself just enough that those players that have always written off World vs. World do come in to try it, because this is legitimately the first big, new, exciting map that Guild Wars has had. Like, really, I'm more excited and more awed by this map than I ever was by South Sun, by a long, long margin.
South Sun, that's what you compare it to?
That's all we've had.
Well, yeah, you're right.
That's all we've had, aside from it, except the tower.
That's pretty That's pretty.
So that's their margin at the moment. And you know, from comments that I've seen on the content that I've put up on it, most people as well are shocked. You know, you can be told, oh, it's a new map in Guild Wars 2, but it is quite shocking to see it and how pretty they've made it look. I don't know what they've done differently, whether it's just they've spent more time on it and it's got, you know, more verticality. The distant terrain looks way better in this map than I've seen in any other World vs. World stuff. I don't know what it is they've done, but it looks great. And the main thing is, like, there's loads of cool mechanics. So I don't know, what should I tell you about? Well, first of all, you know, we were talking about the big center area.
Yeah.
There's a giant statue and I haven't seen this activated yet. There's a big statue in the central area that fires giant cannons off, and there's these huge towers. You know what a World vs. World tower is? It's not really much of a tower. It's just like a little stronghold with a single door that you break through.
Right.
In Edge of the Mist, there are these towers, and they are huge towers. They are very, very big. You see them from really far away, and they generate supply, as far as I'm aware right now. Like, this is still very, very newbie information. But the towers are strategically important, and this giant statue in the middle will like fire these cannons by miles and miles across the map and like destroy stuff. Like, it's awesome. That's a cool big mechanic for everyone to fight over in the center. There's these like environmental things. Badges of honor you can actually spend at you can unlock merchants by doing certain stuff. So you know, World vs. World's got loads of like resource nodes and stuff for you to gather in regular World vs. World. In the Edge of the Mist, there's like special ones. So I found this ice rock that I was harvesting away, and it gave me ice blocks, which I could then trade to a Kodan, like Forge Smith, and then the Forge Smith created a hammer for me, which I bought with World vs. World badges of honor. Badges of honor, yeah. So and then I had this like crazy OP hammer in my hand, and I was like running around with it for a little while before eventually I dropped it when I got in a real fight and I didn't know what I was doing. But it was cool, right? So there's loads of little stuff like this. You know, you'll kill a random harpy or something, and it drops an orb that then you can carry off and again take to the forge to do something. It
seems like they're putting a lot of ideas that they've wanted to put into the game and is trying them out right now.
Yeah, it's great to see that the World vs. World team and the minds that have come up with this have still got so much creativity untapped and so many cool ideas yet to do. And you know, it's weird because they feel they've sort of been struggling with the fact, well, maybe not struggling, but you know, they're locked into the current World vs. World state, and they can only tweak it very slightly at the moment because people take competition so seriously. And now with Edge of the Mist, they can just go crazy, and you can really see the love that's gone into it. World vs. World, man, I gotta say, it's snuck up on me. I really think this is a really, really great aspect of Guild Wars 2 that I have just sort of ignored.
It's where people go when they don't want to play the living story anymore.
Yeah.
That's my opinion of it. It's just like, okay, the living story, not so good. World v. World, let's do it. Like all they have to do is just fix this performance crap, man. And maybe some Zerg combat switchings. But like other than that, like, it's really good. Yeah. It's really fun. Really
definitely. The thing that snuck up with me on World vs. World is the leveling up mechanics in it. Like, I haven't really played very much since that patch went live. Like, so it's been a while. I have neglected World vs. World, but now that I'm in there, I'm playing it. I'm running around with the Zergs, or I'm off, you know, doing Bloodlust or doing my own little thing in the dead hours of the night. The American night. It's fun to see yourself ranking up, and you've got these points, and it's proper RPG, you know, elements. Like, people are like, oh, what do I do at level 80? Play World vs. World if you've got that mentality, because you will never stop leveling up. There's like always something more to spend a point on, and it's all really enticing as well. You know, the skill trees they've got in there, very, very cool. Like, I love the idea of eventually becoming a burning oil guy. I just love the animation on that burning oil ability. You can only unlock if you spec into that tree. And I want to just like spec heavily in it and be like, I'm the burning oil guy. Except it seems burning oil is like vastly underused. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done in World vs. World, but yeah. Anyway, so that was sort of my experience of the Edge of the Mist.
So basically, it's not just a map. They're actually doing some stuff with it. So that sounds promising. That sounds promising. It's way better than I thought it would be. Dude,
and it's funny you say that as well, because I think it could be just a map and be entirely carried by how pretty that place is. There would definitely that is the one thing that a lot of PvEers will go, and it will spark something in you. It will be like, oh man, This is that feeling of excitement and exploration that's been missing in Guild Wars 2 for so long. Oh, where has this been? And then you'll be left longing, and you'll be like, oh, why isn't this a part of PvE?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Where is?
Let's not. I just want to believe, okay, that this is just gonna be amazing. I'm not gonna think about PvE because PvE right now, at least we're getting fractured. At least we're getting fractured.
What do you think's coming after Fractured? Go crazy on me. What do you think is coming after Fractured?
Legendary trinkets. That doesn't sound very exciting.
Wow, no.
Okay, something crazy, something awesome. Okay. They come out with a patch, a preview patch, right? And it barely has stuff in it. But all you have is a picture.
Right.
And there's a picture of a huge golden gate.
Right.
And it's just there. It's just there. And they maybe have some type of mini game that you can play to try to unlock it or something like that. And it's some progress bar like they didn't. No, anyway, it's just some gate. It's just some gate. It's just some gate. They don't say anything. All they do is release this on Tuesday. And then the next Tuesday, all of a sudden you log in and Tengu's there. Right there, ready to, like, they didn't announce it, nothing. It's just there.
You just gave me an aneurysm.
And there's a new area. There's lots of new mechanics. Maybe some mechanics that they had in the Edge of the Mist, like cool mechanics like that. We always talked about certain more temples being added into the game. You could protect it from the NPCs and stuff like that.
Dude,
world, but except against the NPC. Like, I would love some mechanics like that, and I don't know, protect the Tengu's gate wall thing. I don't know. I really want to look past that gate wall. I really want to look past it. It looks so interesting. But yeah, like, I don't know, like surprise patches like that, I would love to see, even though it probably wouldn't work well when it comes down to publicity. Or maybe it'll be like one of those big things where it's like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden they updated with a new class. Does this mean that Living Story can actually be expansions? Blah, 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 blah. Like,
yeah, if it was really phenomenal, then they could get away with it and they could get caught in like a hype storm. I'll tell you what though, I think you might be bang on the money with that. Like, maybe not the secret thing, but I think you mentioned this idea last week, and I've been mulling on it, okay? You said that you think that maybe with the Living Story, because we were talking about expansions again, you said that it could be that they're keeping it on the down low at the moment, but they're working on a big patch in like the background, right?
Right.
And
Living
then
Story patch.
And then they might drop it on us. And it's a Living Story patch, but it is within the scope of an expansion.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been thinking of that. That could be something they're doing. I think they're foolish for not announcing it to the community, but maybe they are going for this. Oh, we want this big surprise thing. And then you mentioned Tengu. Did you know that there's a new event in Kessex Hills specifically to do with the Tengu?
No. What?
Yeah. So south of the tower, there's that little trade camp, the Tengu trade camp.
Right.
They added at least two new events to the game, one of which deals with like escorting a caravan of supplies to the Tengu, like with the Tengu, and sort of helping them with their camp. And they updated the dialogue of the Tengu in the camp. And
wow.
I've even had someone telling me that they've updated and if this is true, this is the real moneymaker, okay? I've heard somebody's told me, and I haven't verified it, that they updated the animations of the Tengu in the camp, like their idle animations and the scope of stuff they can do, like kneeling around, jumping.
I was just there. I guess I need to take a closer look, because I always go to. That's one of those things I'm always interested in. I always go to the Tengu wall because I just love looking at it, and then I go to that camp. Yeah, because like I don't have many things in Guild Wars 2 that I just like, oh my gosh, I just love doing this every day. But when I
just
log into
imagine
Guild
you
Wars
there.
2 and I just go there and I just like, this is actually pretty cool. Like, why don't they do something with this? And I could see why people get angry sometimes, and why people leave, and like they're just like, why aren't you doing this? Like, it's always the consistency, like, oh, Guild Wars 2 is such a good game, but Oh, I don't like the end game. Oh, I don't like what they're doing with the story.
Oh, it's always the end game. It's always end game, people say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you think about where this event was added, it's right next to that wall. It's right next to the wall. If they updated animations, that could be telling of adding that as a new world space and as a playable race. And you've read how that city was already built as well before the game was launched. You know that, yeah?
No.
Oh, if you have collector's edition of Guild Wars 2, if you read the art book, well, not a true fan reading the art book. In the art book, they've got a section about the Tengu, and they write plain as day. There in the art book, they say, "Yeah, we actually had the entire City of Winds built, but it wasn't quite polished. So at one point before launch, we decided to cut it out, and maybe we'll see it again one day." Something to that effect.
Wow, that kind of hurts. Like.
No, it doesn't hurt, because if it had been released bad and, without loads of unique assets, then it would have been horrible and mundane, and they would have butchered a good opportunity.
Also, it means that they could have just worked on that instead of this living story.
Oh, yeah, but, there's a time and a place for everything, and maybe...
A time and a place.
Maybe we'll get in it both.
Sounds like my mom.
That's a thing, though. That could be maybe not after Fractured. Funnily enough, the first thing you were joking about, Legendaries, probably is what we're getting because of all that data mine stuff, like about the precursor hunt and stuff. That's probably coming. They said that would come this year, didn't they? Or actually, they said it might not even be this year now, but it was data mined. And there's going to be lore about it and stuff, I suppose. So that's probably what we'll get, but dude, keep an eye out. Tengu?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be next year. Something has to be next year. I'm pretty sure they're gonna take all this feedback that they got from year 1, and then year 2 they're gonna start using this feedback.
Isn't this technically already year 2?
Technically, yeah, but yeah, I guess if they're counting it that way, 2014.
Because you could say that after Christmas it's year 3 for Guild Wars 2. How weird does that sound?
No, it's not. It's not.
But it's the third year that it's existed.
They call but they call this year 1. So,
well, no, they would call this. There's no way anyone's calling this year 1.
They are calling this year 1. They have it on a T-shirt.
Really? Oh, it's not year 1. Come on, we're well over a year after it now.
No, well,
we're not in the same.
They called it year 1 a couple months ago. This year, they called it year 1. These living story, like Flame and Frost Prelude and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, questions.
Yeah.
Questions.
Oh, no, let's keep talking about what year it is.
Yeah.
So it's 2008. I am a young man at college. I'm working at a supermarket.
In 2008, you were in college?
Dreaming about Guild Wars 2. An article came out the other day where they talked about... What did they talk about really early on? The sound design of the game. And I peed my pants a little.
Watching the trailers over and over again, getting excited.
Do you know what they did? I think when they first announced the trailer, at Gamescom, the very first trailer, the only people that could see it were the ones that were there. But there was a video that went up online, I think, of Martin Kirstein's face, just like smiling as the trailer went up or something, and like everyone freaked out about it. And like you could try, and they were trying to like look at the reflection of the monitor in his glasses or something. I remember that. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, questions. Let's get to it, boy. I don't know what that was. I apologize.
That sounded like a little bit of slave, white man.
I knew you were going to go there.
Slave driver.
You
knew I was going to go there because that's what it sounded like.
It was not the intention. But the weird thing is,
short white man.
Wow.
White devil.
White devil. I feel like you're an awful lot more racist than me. I take such great offense to this.
This is what they used to call white people back then. Oh, the white devil. Don't trust
it makes us sound a lot more, I don't know, significant than we really are, though.
Oh, gosh. God.
Okay, yeah, and that was kind of weird. I was expecting you to find the question for some reason. But okay, so, Destroyed says, "Hey, WP," and apparently not Matt Visual. What were you talking about with names last week that's made people
that
think
my name is Matthew and not Matt?
Oh yeah, Matthew Visual.
People and someone else
though. And someone else was saying that your last name isn't Visual. That's crazy.
Yeah. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. My last name being Visual.
Dude,
I've never seen anything like that.
If you want to be successful on YouTube, you have to change your second name to your real, your YouTube persona. Otherwise, people will get confused.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're deceiving them right now.
I'm not. Okay, that's just my stage name. Oh, so Total Biscuit
stage name. Oh, stage name. This sounds very nice.
That's where I used to dance on the pole. So what? So Total Biscuit should change his name from John Bain to Total Biscuit.
Yes, absolutely, he should.
Mr. Biscuit.
Yeah, yes, absolutely, yes. Okay, right. This person, Destroyed, does ask, I wondered if you could choose to have one skill out of Guild Wars 2 in real life. Oh my god. Okay, which one would it be and why? Granted, you can
Mesmer Portal.
Oh, dude. Wow. All right, next question. No, I don't know. Is that really your answer? This person's...
well, no, actually no, because, I don't know, like, how can you really use that? Like, you have to sit there, put a portal down, walk a little bit. Like, what? How useful is that? Like, really, I'm not in combat here. You go ahead. I'll think of something.
Well, I'd rather just criticize Portal. I think Portal could be cool, but you'd have to, like, if you were with, like Ocean's 11 or like a proper heist crew, and you were like, check out this cool ability I've got, then it would be interesting. But otherwise, like, the 60 or 90-second limit you're gonna have on cooldown and stuff, these don't allow for impromptu shenanigans.
What about that trait skill with the warrior when he falls? You take 50% less damage, and then you just, like, destroy the floor. So you can fall from stuff and just break the floor, like, and feel like a BA.
That's really what that just makes you sound like a fat ass to me. Oh, I'm falling from a very insignificant height and created an earthquake. Oh.
It would be awesome though, but you could take less damage too, 50%. I don't know. I mean, if a fall can crush your legs, what, it'll just break like one bone in your body?
I always wonder about this. How does health translate, like, in real life? Like, if I'm on 30% health in real life, what does that mean? Am I, like, hospitalized? Am I about to go unconscious? What? Or am I perfectly fine until I hit 0 and I suddenly die?
Yeah, you're perfectly fine until you hit 0. Like, there's no way you can translate that into real life. Like, maybe, like, because, like, it's 30%, like, 30%. Unless your body, you can do it in, like, weakness, like, you're really weak, then you can do it that way. Or you can just, like, cut off a leg. Cut off 2 legs. That's 30% out. But in the game, you can just heal right up. So I can't believe we're actually talking about this. Anyway, a skill. You have a skill?
I'm desperately racking my brain for anything really cool about the Elementalist. If I were to use a conjure weapon as my skill, do I get all of the skills on that said conjure weapon?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, what if I just pick the fire attunement? I know I can do fire.
Well, then you would do the tiny little bit of AoE damage, and that's it. You wouldn't get the skills.
Excuse me, I would be able to slide on the floor. Ooh, what about the earth element, dude? That would be pretty cool. Doing that thing that, like, what's it called? The number 5.
The chanting air?
Explode? Yeah, dude. All those spikes on the floor.
Most skills are about killing people.
Huh? Yeah.
Most skills are about killing people. I don't want to kill people.
Yeah, you're right. But we're spending too long on this.
I would use Healing Rain just so I can wind up the British public by specifically making it rain on them. And then I'd play out of a boombox. Why does it always rain on me? And I'd do that until someone had the balls to punch me in the face. And then I probably wouldn't.
I was thinking about Lil Wayne. I make it rain on them. People.
We are of different generations.
Yeah. I didn't listen to that crap. Ooh, sorry for people who listen to Lil Wayne. Sorry, I just don't like the music.
Jeez.
Anyways,
well, you haven't answered yet. You've got to answer.
Jeez.
Dude, just go for something like Lightning Flash. Oh, I can teleport.
I like teleport. I definitely like teleport. Teleport would be pretty interesting because, like, you can, like, grab someone and maybe you can't do that. You could do that. Let's say you could do that. I'll do the teleport thing. Why not?
Dude, that Azaz guy, Nightcrawler's dad in X-Men. Oh, he's so cool. In X-Men Origins, the red Nightcrawler. Oh my god. And like he just teleports and then he carries someone like miles above the sky and then teleports again and then they just fall. Oh, what cool power.
Yeah, Nightcrawler is pretty cool hero. Pretty cool hero. Oh, is he a hero? I think he has some bad stuff in him. But anyways, yeah, go ahead. Next question.
Well, his dad was a bad guy in the movies. I don't know about anything else. B to the Rise says, there's an NPC in Kessex Hills at the camp west of the tower that basically says that the Crate obelisks are related to the Bloodstones. The Bloodstones are related to magic. Abaddon is the god who gave magic to the races of Tyria. Do you guys think Abaddon is the god of the Crate? What do you think, Matt?
Lore! That's your department.
Well, no. What's your theory? I'm wondering.
I don't know. I feel like it doesn't hold too much there. Like it's just like magic is related to this, and then all of a sudden you have like a whole spin out. The story gets spin out of control. It's like just for a little bit of evidence. Like bloodstone and magic. That means this. I think it's a far stretch. I think basically.
Yeah, I was expecting a joke answer, but that's very good actually. I think it is a bit of a stretch. You know, you can make the link vaguely, I suppose, but I get the impression more that the fact that these obelisks are sort of like bloodstones but not bloodstones suggests that they're another example of magic being sealed away, potentially having nothing to do with the gods, nothing to do with the seers. I need to really nail down which race did what, but I feel like it's supposed to be something very separate. I feel like it could be a strong theory though, especially someone was talking to me about this really cool theory to do with how the Marganites could be related to all of this business that was going on in the Crate and the prophets. And the prophets of the Crate are basically just the Marganites. The Marganites who went to the desert to ascend. Well, it wasn't a desert back then. But, you know, there's all these ideas of ascension and how the Marganites, this seafaring culture, sort of relate. Really cool idea, but I don't know how much this idea with the magic ties in. There's a lot of bold theories you can go with in this universe, but sometimes I feel like it's just a bit of a stretch. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to be someone to, you know, stifle that enthusiasm. So, I mean, if you can find more evidence to make it work, then I would say definitely go for it.
But man, if Abaddon were to come back, you know, that'd be good too.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be good.
Well, no, I mean Fractal. I don't mean like actually in the lore or anything like that.
Even in a Fractal, they just screw it up.
Why are you hating?
Because a Fractal is just because a Fractal is like a tiny little thing that they're not going to put real work into. Well, they are.
So
the
you
people
could say
that are
the
doing
same thing. So you're trying to say the Thaumanova reactor is not
absolutely, I am, and that is exactly why I didn't vote in the election, because I wanted to see Abaddon and I wanted to see that Fractal, but at the same time, I didn't have much faith that it would be as incredible as my mind has always pictured it to be, and that it would include all the details that we do have about that event.
I feel like, see, that's what I was saying last VisualWood, is that the story, like, it feels like it doesn't dive deep enough. And like all right, when you play Skyrim, right, you get all this lore and it's voice acted, so that's not an excuse. It's like it's all voice acting. You get so much lore, and you get dived into the game and they talk about different things. Like, I feel like, and you were saying that the voice acting could be holding it back, and it feels like it might be because there's just not much there. Like there's barely dialogue in the game.
Yeah, like, that's because of the, you know, I don't think we can look at Skyrim because it was such a high budget single player experience.
Yeah, right. Bad example, but yeah, you see what I'm saying though. That's like, it's
I mean,
so much
it doesn't
there.
dive deep.
I was going to mention ESO, but NDA. So
yeah. Well, you mentioned it anyway.
NDA.
You're right. It doesn't dive deep. I do hold voice acting very much responsible for that. I really do. There was a time where they decided, right, we want voice acting, but that's going to come at the cost of depth and length to all the quests we have, to all of the content we put in this game. Are we sure we want to do it? And their answer to that was yes, because people don't like walls of text anyway. And the moment that happened, the writers were shot in the head. And that's I stand by that. I really think that ruined a lot of what this game is.
I hate walls of text. I do.
And you're the reason it died, damn you!
Yeah,
if you didn't exist.
I know, but the thing is, this is not a good replacement either, because I do like my lore, even though people might believe I don't. but I really like my lore, and that will make or break a game for me. And because I don't care about the lore for the living story is the exact reason why I tend not to be so excited about the living story, because I more look at the features more than I look at the actual story of the living story, because there's not much dialogue there, and if the stuff that's there is very vague and you just don't care. You just don't care. And you know, I always attach myself to the funny stuff where they do the minstrel or the minstrel. I'm saying that wrong.
No, minstrel, that's fine.
Minstrel, okay, yeah, and Robo, Hobo Robo, yeah, Hobotron is actually his name. It's good. That writing is good. I feel like they have to let themselves shine some way, the writers, so they just use it in that way. And I feel like they're squeezing so much story that could be there in some little package that it just totally just loses its substance and impact in the world. Like, it loses that. Like, I bring up the example of Scarlet. It's just like, okay, like I don't know what led up to that. I really don't. It's just like, I
sort of think they're caught in a bunch of catch-22s with players like you right now, where you want more, but you don't really want to go to the effort to get more, and you don't really know how we got here anyway, and it's a bit of a chore at the moment, unless it's being funny. So I think that what they really need to do is just be done with Scarlet, write it off, and sort of really introduce a new chapter, a new arc, where everyone can say, right, this is a clean slate, let's pay attention to it. And let's get them excited from the start, you know, get them really invested from the start with the flashy cutscenes and, you know, the good voice acting and stuff. But I think that really they should be roping people in with flashy stuff and, you know, high production, shall we say, you know, voice acting and stuff early on, or, you know, front load it, but then have all of the depth and stuff there through a lot of text. I think they have to have a lot of text. If all they're relying on is just a couple of sound bites and stuff they can do here and there that they have to pre-record at some point and then flesh out an entire story arc worth, it's not going to work. It's not going to work out properly for them. So I think they need to like do a clean cut, and then with the new chapter add all that depth in, but get people wanting to read the wall of text in the first place, you know?
Listen, fly me up to the internet office and I will do all the voice acting for you. I'll do the
valid point.
I would do it for free as long as you pay the flight.
Can you do that again? What did you say you were gonna do?
I was gonna do the girls.
The girls.
I could do the girl. I could do the men. I could do the Joker. You know, act crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do this. Let's do this. I could be Scarlet. Totally, dude.
Give me your best Scarlet.
No, I'm straight. Anyways, next question.
Amazing. I don't even remember what the last question was about. How did we get onto that?
We were talking about lore stuff, and then I went on a tangent, and yeah.
Okay. Battle Pot says, I quite like that name. Which class do you both feel you haven't really had a fair play at, and you want to try more?
Alright, so I guess Elementalist doesn't really count for this because I have it at level 80 and I haven't really got a chance to play it. But if we're talking about with like I really didn't give it like a chance. I don't have a level 80 of it. I haven't really gave it a chance, a real good chance yet. I would say the Engineer. And I think we talked about it last time. But what about you?
Get on that Engie play. Engie is so fun. I'm only World vs. World at the moment because of Engineer.
You're using Engineer.
Yeah, I don't mind because
you don't use your Ellie.
Because you level in World vs. World differently. Like if I go on my Ellie, I'm super low rank again. So I'm on my Engineer. Engineer is amazing for World vs. World. If you're like, a lot of people don't like it that much for some of the Zerg combat, but I've got like a stupid spec that is just stacked for doing really high damage at 1500 range. So it's great to be able to grenade all the way up on the top of walls and constantly be doing damage no matter what's going on.
There's this guy on YouTube. I think I showed you a video on Skype. He does like a lot of outnumbered things in World vs. World, and he had an Engineer and he killed like 4 people. by himself. It was ridiculous, and he was using those grenades,
and he was on bombs as well. I think you get so much available to you on an NG. It's just I love classes like that. I've been having an absolute blast. And the other thing as well, right? Ellie is strong, and Staff Ellie is very strong in World vs. World, but it's all for the sodding static field. Staff is just a boring weapon on Ellie. It's like, oh yeah, I used skill 5 on air attunement, and now everybody's been stunned. Okay, all right. It's engineer all the way, I think, even though I'm probably less effective than a lot of those Ellies can be. But hey, which class haven't I given due diligence? 2 straight away. Guardian, Ranger. Why? Because
Ranger me as well.
Ranger in particular, because I have strong opinions about aspects, at least of Guardian and of all of Ranger. In that they really wind me up. They really annoy me. They seem brain dead, especially Ranger in a lot of situations. And I'm probably being incredibly unfair to those classes by having that prejudice, but I don't give them the chance.
There's some merit there to Guardians. Like, I don't know, like, you're tanky and stuff, but I feel like the skills aren't as interesting when it comes down to the weapon skills, aren't as interesting as some other classes could be. Like, there's there needs to be more depth there. I feel like you play your Guardian this way, right? And if you're not playing it this way, it's not as good. You know, that I kind of feel that. Even though a lot of people say, oh, put some Zerker gear on them and do some damage or whatever. I don't want to do that. Like, it's not as fun. It feels like the only way to play a Guardian is this way, and you put them tanky, you do shouts. Like, there's not much going on there other than that. And I feel like I need to, like, expand and try another class. For the Ranger though, I've been deliberately saving my Ranger class for Tengu. As soon as Tengu comes out,
same actually, yeah.
I'm gonna get a Ranger. Even I don't know. I doubt the Tengu will have like they'll come out with a class. Would they come? Do they come out with classes and races at the same time? Is that?
They will never do professions for Guild Wars 2.
What? You're saying? You're serious? You think they?
Yeah, no. They've said it multiple times. There's not going to be any new professions for this game. No way. Maybe a long time. Maybe years and years and years away. But everything's covered. All the bases are covered, and in their eyes, at least, all the bases are covered. So, I can't say I'm
very disappointed in that. I really don't see like the need for it. Really, like I don't know. Like there's a lot of things that people can disagree, because people say there should be another heavy.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like they could totally revamp the classes they already have, and, you know, change the combat in some way, do some changes that way, do some skills, and really make your class feel new. I feel like they can use the big patches for that, you know, really revamping certain things and adding new traits and stuff, making your character feel really new, and then come up with a new class, not a new class, a new race. And, you know, people can try out new classes. Like, oh, okay, the Ranger got this stuff now, and they can
that's a really good point.
Flips. Like, you know, I'll play the new race, and then I'll play the Ranger now, since it's been revamped, and I haven't gave it a chance yet.
Yeah, that's so true. They can just add to the professions that are already there.
And new weapons, of course, that's a given.
Yeah, and from that, there's even less opportunity for, you know, a new class to be a totally new thing. Definitely, like, there is room for a third heavy class. There's kind of your Dark Knight type of character, because there's not really that, you know, magically influenced but dark at the same time. Kind of heavy Condi based is what I would peg it as, you know, attritive heavy armor frontline character. You could do that. That is the only sort of gap that's there at the moment.
Oh, like what about like a magic based warrior?
Yeah, that's because I mean, we got a magic-based warrior, sort of a guardian, but that's about support and control.
Yeah, like that's like Templar, not necessarily like Dragon Knight. You know, the guy who uses magic and blah blah blah. Yeah.
In other MMOs, it'd be easier because that guy would typically be the tanky guy. Yeah. But I don't know, maybe there's an element of that to Guild Wars 2. But hey, anyway, as to the question, not the question. We were just talking about Tengu, weren't we? Yeah, no, that's basically it. Yeah, I want to have a Ranger as well. I want to have a Warrior, a Tengu, actually. Warrior Tengu suits so well. Rifle-wielding Tengu. It's going to be so cool. I can't really imagine Mesmer Tengu, Can you?
No, I cannot.
That's like the one thing I can't really imagine. Everything else sort of makes a lot of sense or works. Necros, I mean, but there were Mesmer Tengu in Guild Wars once, so I don't know what I'm complaining about. I guess it's just the clones and stuff. But hey. Next question?
Yeah.
Is from Rich SSA, who says, if all players decided to leave the tower alone so that the meta event never reached the full bar, what do you think would happen to it? Do you think ArenaNet would just leave it or force it to be destroyed?
Force it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen because there's a lot of players not doing it. So in certain servers, that is, like, you know, those low populated servers, like my bar is like kind of almost halfway. What about you in Emery Bay?
Mine's maybe a third of the way. It's nowhere near. Well, yeah, maybe it's coming closer, but it's about a third of the way, I'd say.
We talked about it having a timer already, like it'll slowly go up regardless. So I'm thinking maybe
which I think is probably true, yeah.
Yeah, which will probably be happening because I don't think enough people are doing it. I really don't think so. I'm just being. I don't see people in there every day.
I don't get this. So many people are telling me that. I still haven't got my meta. I've been in there several times, right? I keep going back in. There's always people that I was very frustrated.
When
I will be honest.
People, what do you mean by
groups of people, 10 to 15 people.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And I've noticed the way that this tower is designed, every time those routes are blocking your progress, yeah, that can be kind of frustrating. But it's ArenaNet saying, look, stop it. You're getting annoyed for trying to go up alone. That's because you're not meant to go up alone. Wait, find a group. And like these are like.
And if there's nobody there?
They're throttles, because sometimes you go up, sometimes I would go up and yeah, it's a dead wall and it's annoying and you die. Sometimes you go up though, and yeah, the wall's shut, but there's also a zerg of people there finishing the event because they've been stopped and they've all congregated there as the event gets pushed.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait for people though. That's the thing.
No, but I wasn't waiting for...
which I don't necessarily dislike about it. I kind of like that you know
have
you
to
need
have people.
You know, yeah, it's a thing where
open world group content. That's what we
Right.
don't have in this game, but they put it there.
What do you mean? Everything's a damn zerg.
No. It's not. Things don't require you to be a zerg, though, do they?
Right.
But the whole point is the open world is you're meant to be able to solo everywhere, and that's like the philosophy. And people get annoyed when they suddenly find themselves in awe and getting CC'd all over the place, and they don't want to. It doesn't occur to them to go, find their friends. This is ArenaNet trying to do that. It's
Some
an
people
open
don't
world
have
area.
friends though.
Well, and again, like I have no sympathy for those people. No
Don't
sympathy
say
at all.
Don't say that.
Why? They don't have any friends. I don't care if I put them down. They ain't got anyone to defend them.
Oh my gosh! People are gonna take you serious.
Okay, I'm being an idiot
He's
now.
joking, guys. He's not really a douchebag.
No, but at the same, I do think. Why are you playing an MMO if you don't have any friends? Like, if
you
'cause
play
that's
to
on
meet
you.
friends though.
No, that's
meet
on
friends.
you if you don't have any friends in an MMO. That's on you. It's so easy to find a guild. It's so easy to say hello to people. It's so easy to join in on the conversations that people have in Lion's Arch, bashing the game and about how WoW's better or about how WoW sucked and stuff. It's so easy.
Well,
It's so
yeah,
easy to say thank you
easy.
to someone who reses you and then wander about with them.
If you don't have a guild, really, it's not a problem. You should be able to find a guild pretty easily. Maybe they should have like some type of message board for that type of stuff. But like,
Oh, a message
it's
board.
really
That sounds interesting.
We haven't talked about that before.
So what's the message board?
Yeah, but like you could just say I'm looking for a guild, or you look up the top World v World guilds or PvE guilds, and just like there's lots of people doing guild missions in your places and in your areas and stuff like that. You just join with them. Really, they're like happy to have another person that is active. Like there's always guilds to join. Like you shouldn't have an issue unless you have an issue with the people in the guild. Then then that's on you. If you don't like certain people, you just keep swapping guilds until you find one you like.
And doesn't every guild leader love that guy?
Yeah,
the dude that logs in for a day and then leaves. Or in Guild Wars
Yeah.
2, just doesn't rep you ever again.
just sitting there, always online, always in another guild. It's amazing.
Okay, so to the question, you think that they wouldn't just leave it? They'd just force it to be destroyed?
Yes, they would. I feel like
I really...
Yeah,
I like the idea of going to a dead server. Dead server. I gotta stop saying that. A quieter server, and it's still there while... Yeah, a low pop. Well, the thing is, you can't say that because ArenaNet are doing this weird thing where low pop servers are still high, and they're just not very high. You know, it's like, why are you doing that? It's clearly a low pop server. Rank them properly, please.
Because they don't want to feel like, oh, there's nobody playing the game or something like that.
But we've talked before about how damaging that is, because it's damaging to the perceptions of the people in low pops.
Yeah.
Low pops think, oh, I'm in a high population server and barely anyone's around. They don't realize the jump between their server and Tarnished Coast or Kodash Bazaar or whatever.
Drastic difference, yeah. And all of them are very high for some reason. All these populated servers,
yeah.
And some of them are not.
It's so huge, yeah. So I like the idea of going there in a few months, and it does raise the question: if they're going to force it, what's the point of doing it anyway? Mm-hmm. Like, especially when it's not an individual thing. I don't feel like I individually progress that bar, so it seems to be lost or mismatched somewhere along the way. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's go to the next question. Question number 6 from Mullo Madness. Matt V and WP. Dude, that's cool. That's what we should be. Matt V and WP, because it rhymes, you see?
Oh, yeah. That's good.
You see?
Matt V.
WP. Yeah, someone make a logo out of that. Dueling. We want it and we want it now. But what do you think about adding wager dueling? Where instead of just the basic dueling, players would have the ability to put their money, items, mats where their mouth is. And bet money, items, mats on duels to make things more interesting.
Let's bet legendaries on the line. See, that's some true wager right there, man.
That would be cool.
Put it all on the line.
That would be something.
And then they would have to make legendaries.
A YouTube video of it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, those are that would be perfect content.
Dude, right? Like crazy stuff like that in the game.
Yeah, there's not much stuff like that. It needs to be. I
just got 300 stacks of my lol YouTube video. You know, that's the kind of cool stuff that should be in the game that people are like, whoa, look at how high this goes. Yeah,
I definitely wager dueling. I would love to see that, and then we can wager ectos and stuff like that. And I don't know, like there should be like some arena in some town that you can kind of go in, and people will kind of organize certain things, and you can just duel each other and put money on the line. Oh, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. You could sit there and watch it too. Like just how the
GVGs.
No. Oh yeah,
the
GVGs.
MOA racing.
The other one that came around that time, the Crown
Pavilion. Yeah, right. The 1v1s in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. You know, you can watch people die and fight each other. It's so good. It's so good. I bet people will be like, you know, it won't be like, okay, you're going in. You know how you go into the new content and it may not be permanent, and usually the features are permanent, right, and not everything else. Mm-hmm. Most of the stuff people just play and go away, right? Mentioned it 20 times this episode. This patch, I bet people will still be there a week, 2 weeks after, a month after, 2 months after, because it's dueling. Like, that's something in the game that people will just constantly be there dueling. And it'll be brought up in conversation. Oh, they fighting with each other. Someone's like, oh, Guilders 2 is dead. No, Guilders 2 ain't dead. Let's duel. And boom. There'll be so many of those things happening. I think it would be great.
Yeah, me too. I can't deny it. I think this would be awesome. I remember daydreaming about ideas like this, like, way before launch. Like, it would be cool. But it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen because it's too competitive. They never wanted people to see... if you're in PvE, you should never see someone as being an enemy, right? Like, so it's never going to happen. But we're very coddled. You know, that's exactly why they don't have features like this.
No. Well, they need to...
They are stopping. That's why, like, leaderboards are so amazing for this Fractal, because it is a change in philosophy. I feel at some core level they are starting to allow this kind of stuff in. They've missed the boat, I really think, in terms of like adding loads of competition stuff in. But you know, world first. There's a reason we don't have them. It's not because Arena didn't think of them. It's not because they were too lazy. It's because they decided they didn't want stuff like that. They didn't want to be this air of competition. And when we're talking about players in PvE being allowed to, you know, stake crazy amounts of hours of their lives, basically, on petty ego internet fights, Yeah, they're not going to let people do that. I think it'd be a cool feature, and I'm in the camp of being like, yeah, let us be adults.
I think dueling will come. I'm gonna say dueling will come.
I don't think it will, dude.
It's gonna come next year.
I think as well, like it can be used as one tiny little thing as well to say, SPVP still exists, guys. Please come to SPVP because they've got dueling.
Oh my gosh, I remember when we used to be so optimistic about PvP, and then now like. You really go in there, and this is like
I'm still maybe a bit optimistic. What day is it today? It's Saturday. I missed it. There was a live stream yesterday where they talked about a new PvP game mode, which I missed, which I'll check out probably after this. Yeah, so they are talking about a new game mode for PvP, so it could turn around.
Yeah, I think it will. Well, I can't say that. I'm not gonna put my reputation on the line for that. But I feel like the new mode and the new maps will do something. Hopefully, it'll give people another shot at it and see what they can do. I would hope that they fix this whole hot join thing, or at least kind of make it easier to direct people to actually doing tournaments instead, or maybe something. I don't know. Like there has to be. They should switch, like, put a section that says, okay, this is how the game is supposed to be played, 5-on-5. Go here if you want to play casually with random people and 5v5. Instead of giving them straight into these 10v10s that are just absolutely horrible. It is horrible, okay? You do not like PvP after that. You do not.
I don't know. It's because you can't 1v1, 1v10. I don't know what that's the only reason you don't like it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See, if you just played for a little while, learnt the game, stopped being such a baddie, then you could do all your 1v10s.
I'm pretty sure you had other words there, didn't you?
No, I didn't. There was some... never mind. There was some douche at the top of the Tower of Nightmares today who was calling everyone baddies for needing to have groups, and I just thought you sound like the most ridiculous nerd in the world. So that's why that word came to my mind. Anyway, yeah. So do you want to go to the next question?
Yeah.
PvP, like, there's a lot that could happen with PvP, but let's face it, that's a podcast of its own.
Yeah.
I love this guy, and he's been commenting on my stuff for so long, but I don't know how to say his name out loud. Mahius, Mahhius 19 says, once again, a question I have asked about 1 billion times since Matt says to keep trying.
I never saw his question before.
So this one's for you, buddy.
Google Plus sucks. I'm gonna blame Google for this.
See, Google Plus is great. We've got excuses and stuff. It's brilliant. What are your favorite Guild Wars 2 music soundtracks? Also, something that's been on my mind. There are a lot of tradable skins that are no longer obtainable. Of course, we would expect the prices to eventually be ridiculous, but will they? I think the market is too saturated with these skins for that to happen. If they weren't tradable, they would be easier to get in the first place, and you would see them more often. What are your opinions on these exclusive tradable skins?
All right, so that has happened with dragon back pieces. What, you remember the dragon back pieces? The one that looks like a bat. I can't remember the exact name. I have 4 of them. Can't remember the name. Those were so high. Like when you first got them, you could sell them for like 25 gold, whatever. They went down all the way to like 6 gold, and they've kind of stayed there for a very long time. Sometimes they go to 8 gold, but whatever. Like just so many of them, it's just not going. And how long has it been since Dragon Bash? You know, it's been a while. It's definitely not Halloween skins. It's definitely not Halloween skins. Well, it may eventually get to that point, but I'm unsure if people even know it exists. In the game, like I didn't even know these back pieces for like the guy who looks like Tigger and Char and the Quaggan even existed for like 1 gold. I was like, what is this? I've never seen this before. You didn't have to go to the gem store to get a Quaggan backpack because you could just buy it. Yeah,
you can. My answer to that question is absolutely they will all be inflated. And I give that answer because today I realized, number one, when the Molten facility first came around, there was a really rare chance to get that backpack, the jetpack.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Is that what you're using?
In PvP, that's what I use. That's
what about PvE? What is those shoulder things that you have?
Well, I have dredge shoulders, which basically makes it look like I've got a jetpack.
Oh, okay.
But a different one. And then I have a wind catcher as well as the actual back piece. It's all flash, my friend. It's all flash. But that item that like was selling for 50 gold or something around the time of the patch, that's now 500 gold. Like, and it wasn't too long ago that came out. As soon as ArenaNet announced that with the addition of this Fractal, as far as I'm aware, this is the order stuff happened in, that they announced with the addition of this Fractal that the Molten Jetpack wouldn't come back and stuff, the price skyrocketed. And if that's not enough to convince you that the prices will keep going up and up and up, the Ghastly Grinning Shield, last year's Halloween skin, as Matt just mentioned, I held on to one of those for ages. I sold it around April to get my first legendary, and I sold it for about 300 gold, as far as I remember, which was a great profit. I bought that thing for like 14 gold or something, 40 gold, right? An incredible profit. What do you know how much the Ghastly Grinning Shield is worth now?
I don't even want to imagine. I wish I bought them. I really do. How much?
1,800 gold.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that could get me my incinerator on its own right now. The funny thing about this is everyone was selling those skins early so they could get their legendaries, while legendaries are a sinking ship, constantly getting devalued because constantly being generated by the game, while Ghastly Grinning Shields, Chain Great Swords, that's another one that's like over 1,000 now, I believe, at the moment. All these things are going up in value and will never cease to. In like 2017, people with Ghastly Grinning Shields will be the king of the nerds. It will be incredible. And yeah, I see no end to it, because they're going to become the most prestigious thing. They're going to become Guild Wars 2's version of, you know, mini Kanaxai and stuff like that.
That'll be better than legendaries, in my opinion.
This is why I love exclusive skins. I think they're so cool. And one day they'll be that crazy. You know, when your jaw used to drop at seeing a legendary, maybe eventually your jaw will drop when you see a Ghastly Grinning Shield. You know? Yeah,
well, sure enough, jaw doesn't drop for a legendary. It's like, oh, it's a legendary. You can buy that.
And that's why exclusive skins are so great, because they keep that, you know, and it will only get better and better and better, while legendaries and stuff that's always obtainable always goes down. So yeah. Oh, but the first part of that question was favorite song from the soundtrack, I believe. Yes.
Probably the one I use.
Really?
No. There's a lot of, like, I have this pack of sounds, but they don't have a name on them.
Right.
They don't have a name, so I can't really say what track number or what sound it is, because there's no name or like exact number, because there's so many different soundtracks. I guess I don't know. Like there's two of them, right? There's one that you get, like a little short one that you get in the collector's edition.
With the collector's edition, indeed.
And then there's another one that you can buy, which I think I have as well. But I can't really see the name. I like this track. That is what I do when I did the jumping puzzle video. It's very sad. I really like very sad violin stuff. I love violin. I love violin on my tracks. That's why you always heard it when I made my music.
And when you're telling a sad story,
and
you play that track in the background on Skype, and it gets me all teary-eyed.
Let me tell you a story of my life. I'm going to draw it for you right now.
So last night I was really hungry. But there wasn't anything good to eat in the house. Oh man, I feel so bad for you.
In the Grimrock jumping puzzle, I really like that track. When I say why, there's this track that plays that's like a very sad violin that I need to find again amongst my many tracks of Guild Wars 2.
The Grimrock jumping puzzle?
Not Grimrock. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking about the Grimrock movie that they're making, live action movie. You heard of that, right?
What are they?
Yeah, they're making a live action. The same guys who made the fan.
Whoa!
Fallout one. They're
Grimrock, the indie dungeon crawling game I LP'd on my channel.
Yeah, Legend of Grimrock.
I don't believe they're making a live. No, they're not. Are they?
They're not making it. Someone is making it for them. They're doing some fan. People
really?
I'll link you.
Dude, hit that down in the description as well. People need to see Grimrock. Seriously now? Wow.
Yeah. But what is it called? Griffin Rook or Griffin Rock?
Griffin Rook Run. That's it. Yeah.
Griffin Rook Run. That one. There's a track in there that I like. very much. But I mean, they're all really good. Not all of them, but I have a few favorites that I just really like. Even when I go outside in the world and I just hear that music, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the stuff. Even though that kind of gets a little tiring sometimes, but you know, you still really enjoy the track. It's really good music. Jeremy So always does a really good job. Yeah, go ahead.
I quite like the Griffin Rook Run area as well, just because it's that one section of Lorna's Pass where they have all the beautiful sound and ambient effects of the mountains and the trees and the birds. Like,
yeah,
it sounds so good there. Not necessarily the music for me, but that area just sounds so peaceful and incredible, and you barely hear it anywhere else in Guild Wars. I'm gonna be a hipster dude here because my one of my favorite tracks is probably not to do with the Guild Wars 2 soundtrack. There are some great tracks and I don't want to devalue it whatsoever. I'm always putting it down in favor of the first game, but I've got to say my favorite sound, the first thing that jumped to my head, I find it very hard to do favorites, but the first thing that jumped to my head is it's either Age of the Dragon, which is the second track, or it's the first track, which is the Factions theme. The Guild Wars Factions official soundtrack. It's the song that I used on my preview video for a lore video I was doing on Factions. And it's got a very sweet violin on that as well, Matt, that I'm sure you'd enjoy. But I like different tracks for different reasons. There's a really nice like little flute track that was a hidden track in Guild Wars 1 that's always stuck with me. There's nostalgia from pre-Searing Ascalon music that's always stuck with me. I did a video recently where I used some really bad music, but it was just because I was feeling nostalgic. But I think Factions overall has got... like, a lot of the Prophecies music is really... kind of very grungy. I'm not a music person. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very kind of... it's all ambience and low tones and rolling noises. There's a lot of that in Prophecies, but Factions has got some really crisp music. The Jade Sea music, where it's like, oh, and it's like a great orchestra. Oh, beautiful. So probably Factions would be my favorite soundtrack, but that theme, beautiful. Man,
the soundtrack really, I don't know, it really adds to the experience for me.
It defines this franchise, man. It's so good.
Because... in Guild Wars 1, since you're mentioning it, when I was exploring the world, and I was like you know, they have a lot of invisible walls in Guild Wars 1, and there was just one where it just kind of shows the beach and you know, something you can't get to and stuff like that. And it just looks really, really good, and then the music just kind of makes it such a way better experience. It's just like, wow, this is good. And like, there was this awesome moment when I got to the tower, top of the tower, the Nightmare Tower. There's this song that played, and I could never get it again. I was trying to record it so I can use it, but the song kind of swelled up as soon as I reached the top of the tower, and it was this amazing feeling. Yeah. So I love when things just work out that way.
So Tower of Nightmares was the best patch?
No, it was not. No,
wow.
It was not.
People worked very hard on that patch.
Yeah, but doesn't mean I'm not going to give an opinion. Okay, so, we really worked hard on Dragon Age 2, but man, that game was garbage. The game was complete garbage anyway. Oh, some people are going to hate on me.
Dude, yeah, with all bad. The Dragon Age 3 hype going on at the moment.
Oh no, it's called Dragon Age Inquisition, my friend. It's not Dragon Age 3, because after Dragon Age 2, how could you ever go to Dragon Age 3?
That's true. That is true. Maybe they'll do Dragon Age 3 after Inquisition, or Dragon Age Inquisition 2.
Yeah. Let's just totally go away from it even having a Dragon Age 2.
2 Inquisition Age Dragon.
Yes.
That would confuse the audience into buying it.
But Dragon Age Inquisition, really? Like, it looks good. Holy crap.
That was you that linked me that, right?
Yeah. I was extremely excited. I was like, holy crap. I did not know this existed. And even though it was on a camera, it still looked so good on it. I was like, man, I cannot wait to dive into this.
I kind of like cam footage like that reminds me so much of early Guild Wars 2 days now. Like, I kind of like seeing stuff like that. It's like, oh, yeah, this is cool. Some people really hyped about this.
Next question.
The next question is from Lost Sanity Returned, who says, how about having the tower collapse because the Nightmare Plant dies, but there is a wreckage left and it gets turned into a new jumping puzzle feature of Kessack Hills. Kessack Hills.
Kessex. Is it Kessex? No?
Yeah,
Kessex
it's Kessack Hills. Yeah, okay.
Kessex.
Oh, if only you understood what was happening here.
Okay. The jumping, yeah, that would be pretty cool. They create content over something being destroyed, and it'll be a landmark there, because we were talking about before, like, we don't want it to just go back to normal. We kind of want to see like a scar there, that something happened there. The living story permanently, did something to the world. And, guess what? You look at something, you're like, oh, guess what? I was there when that happened. Not a lot of moments have been happening like that, for the living story recently. So
it's like the lighthouse. There's a bit of that with the lighthouse in Lion's Arch,
Yeah.
Where it was destroyed by the Karka.
No one goes over there anyway, so.
Yeah, well, that could be a very real issue for Kessack Hills as well, but I suppose it's sort of beyond...
Yeah,
it could be far enough in the future when people actually care enough about that kind of stuff. Could be far enough in the future that we've got loads of new zones and people are spread out, which is what ArenaNet don't want to do. But yeah, I mean, I think that could be cool. I don't. My enthusiasm about what they do with the tower is really very low, to be honest. I don't like how ugly Kessack Hill. It's very subjective, but I don't really care about the way it looks right now. I don't like the poisony kind of style to it. I love that now you can stand in such a way that you can see the Wizard's Tower, the Tengu Wall, and the Nightmare Tower. Like, there's a very specific spot you can stand at.
Really? You have to show me that.
You can only see like the tip of one of the like parapets of the tower. Like, you don't see it all, but you can be stood in a position where by swinging the camera around, you can see like all three of these big landmarks. I think that's kind of cool, but at the same time, like, actually round the lake, I'd like to see the environment have been permanently changed, but not poisoned anymore would be my ideal thing.
No, that would be ugly. You don't want poison there all the whole time. Yeah, I want it cleaned, but I don't want it to go back to normal.
And as far as a new jumping puzzle, I mean, one random odd new jumping puzzle added in, I'd like ArenaNet to have the freedom and, the flamboyance to do stuff like that. Just a random feature here, random feature there, a bit of quirkiness to it, bit of unevenness. But at the same time, I don't think too many people were asking for something like that, so we probably wouldn't see it.
All right.
Do you know what it is?
The last question.
It is.
Ding, 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 ding.
Last question time.
I don't have a bell.
So before we recorded the podcast,
that's not a bell.
Before we recorded the podcast, I said to Matt, "Do you have a bell?" And he looked around on his desk for a bell, and then said no, as if there would have been a bell there. But I reminded him that most people have bells as a part of like Christmas decorations. Can you indeed confirm that you do have a bell, but it's just a Christmas decoration?
No, I don't. I can't confirm. I can't confirm that I have a bell.
He does not want to look for a bell. So
it's where Christmas decorations always go. They always go like far up in some little corner collecting dust.
Christmas is coming anyway. Just put them up like at the start of December, like some families do.
Yeah. My wife is all up into that, and I'm just like,
how early
Christmas is Christmas.
How early do you put your decorations up?
My wife tends to like.
I like how you separate yourself from it.
No, because she's the one who likes doing that stuff. I don't care.
You're stick in the mud.
No, it's. The thing is, it's a Christmas tree. It's just like, it's a damn tree, Unless like it had some significance back when I was a kid because there used to be presents under there, right? But
wow, so there's no material gain, but now I'm buying the presents.
Now I'm buying the presents, So it's just like, she likes to hide them and stuff. She doesn't like to have them out because I always shake them. I always like.
You do sound like a kid at Christmas.
Yeah. She doesn't like to have it out, so she likes to hide them from me. So if there's no presents under the tree, so it's just like, yeah, I'm materialistic. I'm so materialistic.
Wow.
Anyways, I'm not. But yeah, well, we put them up.
Thank you.
Around Thanksgiving-ish.
And when's Thanksgiving?
28th.
So, really? So you're going to be putting them up soon anyway?
Yeah.
Within a week?
If I don't dodge it until then, yeah.
So you have to promise me, if a bell is found when your decorations go up, we've got to have a last question bell.
I'll get a big cowbell. Don't worry.
A big cowbell. Well, for now.
You always have a glass. Like I imagine your desk just full of crap. Like old chip bags and cookies and a piece of gum stuck to the side of your desk.
My desk would be pretty interesting to talk about right now. It does have 2 glasses on it because I forgot that I already had one up when I
and you went down and brought another one up.
Yeah. That happens. It's got a mug from a cup of tea I had as well. Not sure how long ago. It's got a calculator on it. It's got a debit card reader on it. It's got a thing of super glue because I got to fix something in a bit.
Debit card reader.
Hard nails. Yeah. So as a method of authentication in our country, well, I don't know, maybe just with the bank I'm with. But basically, I put my card into a little machine, turn it on, it gives me a code which I enter into the website so that people can't steal my money online.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually a pain in the backside, but whatever. I've got a tablet. I have an electric toothbrush because this is just where I've taken to charging it lately. So I've also got...
You do everything at the desk. You live at the desk, don't you?
I've also got.
Do you have like a piss cup or a bucket?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've got my tea in. Tea is in quotes here.
You have some hand sanitizer.
I do have hand sanitizer, but not on the desk.
I do too. I ain't gonna lie, I do too.
It's not on the desk. It's behind me, and it's because I had this weird thing like a few months ago where I don't know, like my skin was getting dry, but just on one hand and only at the very tips of my fingers. It was really weird. So I just used that for a little bit, and then it went away. I've got a Torx screwdriver thing with loads of different heads on it, and an old busted up lamp which I tweeted about the other day, but got the date wrong, so deleted it. But there you go. That's my desk. Right. Last question. Last question, bell. Oh, and a knife. Sorry, that's what I'm using to ring the bell. Smeen, SKC. This is better be good, Smeen.
I like how the knife was like the last thing. Just a knife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smeen, all right? Don't let us down. Hey, guys, question. What was the first MMO you ever played?
The first MMO. I'm going to say... Man, I've played so many games. I'm gonna say it's RuneScape. Is the first MMO I've ever like really played and dived into.
I'm desperately thinking, is there another for me? No, it's RuneScape for me as well.
Yeah, that was the gateway, really. RuneScape was. I mean, grinding at its finest.
Yeah, man. I remember the excitement though. It blew my mind that there could be like other players. What? That's a guy. I remember just walking on the road between Varric and whatever that neighbouring city was, and this dude ran past me, and I just like melted. Just this idea that other people would like that. What a cool concept. MMO.
I paid $5 definitely, and I did all the quests. Like, you saw all the quests right there, and you could switch the music. Oh, the old RuneScape music is so good. They changed it now. You can't do any of that stuff. They changed it a lot.
Yeah, what do you think about RuneScape 3?
It looks pretty cool. They updated it again, but like I don't know, man. It's cool, I guess. And you have to pay for it though. You can't be free. It can't be free anymore.
It's like a member. Well, but old RuneScape's still there. Do you know that they like branch development? One branch. Like, it's kind of really cool the way that they developed RuneScape. So for people that don't know, there was RuneScape, then it was like rebooted into RuneScape that you probably all know about, and the original RuneScape became known as RuneScape Classic.
Right.
And then it kept getting developed, hit its heyday like 2007, 2008, maybe a little bit earlier, and it really hit its stride. But then like Jagex or the guy that owned it or something sold it to some other people, and they made a lot of questionable decisions. They destroyed the wilderness, which a lot of people liked. They did this trading post thing that a lot of people didn't like.
Yeah, the Grand Exchange.
Yeah, so there were all these changes, and then very recently, the devs said, look, okay, we're going to make like a new game, basically, RuneScape 3, and it's, I believe it links on, right? So you might be able to use your same character. It might be totally fresh slate, I'm not sure. But we're making RuneScape 3. Okay, it links on. So it's based off of what their client eventually got to today in 2012, 2013. But at the same time as making that, they said, look, we know a lot of you liked this game back in 2007, so what we're going to do is split development. We're making RuneScape 3, but then we're also going back to this 2007 thing. We're going back in time, totally resetting the game to like this old version, all the same old servers. If you had a character all those years ago, you could log into that version of RuneScape now, and you will be exactly as you was back in 2007. Everything's exactly the same. And then
they put it to a vote as well.
Yeah, and then they're going to develop that 2007 version, like with the hindsight they now have in 2013. So it's like a split timeline. It's like a game that's been designed and is like got an alternate universe kind of thing going on, where they went back in time and now they're changing the way it went. What a crazy idea!
Yeah.
And that's like a paid only thing, if you want to go back. But like, if you were a massive fan of that game back then, like that fascinates me. That you will, in like 10 years, we'll be able to compare how RuneScape 3 ended up compared to, you know, this other split branch where they made different. Oh man,
I feel like I wonder, where's RuneScape demographic at? Like, is it young?
Yeah, that's a good
people?
question.
Like, I can't see like I'm meeting someone who's like, oh yeah, man, I got full dragon armor in RuneScape and but I can't see that. I always see them playing either WoW, Guild Wars 2. We're looking forward to the new game, the new MMOs out there, or they
don't mention the competition.
They're also, like they're an old EverQuest player, way back in the days, the original EverQuest, so people still play that, or Ultima Online, like it's just, I just don't see RuneScape being mentioned like that, even though it's still out there, like people still watch people on YouTube.
And it's still got a lot. It's got a player base. It's because it's highly addicting, right?
Yeah, and so of course you could level everything up to 99, which I've kind of like. And I'm not gonna lie, I like kind of like that grind because you feel so satisfied when you get to that point where you can unlock something. That satisfaction is just it's unmatched by anything else, really.
I don't know. I think I just enjoy grind quite a lot,
because the reward is good enough. It's good enough for the grind.
I don't think I think a lot of people would point at RuneScape and grinding away, cutting down trees as the low point in their gaming life. Yeah, but I don't know. I think looking back on it,
over and over again.
Yeah, just like trying to
fishing for crabs and harpooning sharks and stuff.
But that was exciting. I also remember being thoroughly excited looking at the world map of RuneScape before I became a paid member. Just like looking at all those places and just
But remember, like. Leveling up your fishing, for instance, right? And now you can harpoon now, right? And you can harpoon sharks. Getting enough sharks, cooking them, right? And that will level up your cooking level as well, right? To be able to cook sharks. You cook them, and then you use those sharks, right? Because they heal a lot of life, to go fight some dragons.
Yeah, all linked in.
It all linked in together. Like, all of the leveling just linked in together, and it was satisfying. What can I say? Going through all those, going with a couple friends and helping each other fight through and killing the dragon, getting a rare drop eventually, or leveling up. Like, everything levels up. There was always progression in any aspect of the game. Everything was progression. Everything.
Here's my question to you. What drove you away from RuneScape?
Once the changes started coming in with the Grand Exchange and all that, I kind of moved on. I was just like, you know what? I like everything I have didn't really make sense. It was a combination of things. It wasn't only that. It was kind of life as well. I've kind of gotten busy with certain stuff, and it's not that type of game you go back to. I feel like it's not like League of Legends, right? League of Legends, you always go back to. Like, you may stop playing for like months, and then all of a sudden you play for months, right? Or a month or something like that. Like, you just can't get enough of it. Like, RuneScape wasn't one of those MMOs that I just like, I'll go back to it. Yeah, with my same character and everything. No, once you leave RuneScape, I think you're gone forever. Because you've moved on, and then you start playing better MMOs. There's just better MMOs out there.
Yeah, and you moved from RuneScape to MapleStory, right?
No, I played a lot of Korean MMOs between that, and then MapleStory.
Guns?
I got hooked. I played guns. Yes.
From Iggy. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh man, it was good. I remember I tried hacking in that game, and it was fun just being able to do that sword move over and over again.
The butterfly thing, yeah.
It was crazy. It was good. That's the first time I've ever had, and the last time I ever hacked in the game, because it was just fun, and it didn't really matter if it's free to play. So.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, the
free to play
side,
is bad.
Evil side. I'm putting my pinky to the side of my mouth right now.
Amazing.
That's an Austin Powers reference for all those other people who were deprived as a child. Never seen Austin Powers. Never seen Austin Powers. Anyways, is that it?
That was the last question. Yes. So I believe that about wraps us up.
If you want to leave a question down below for us to answer in the next episode, please do so. Oh, hey now.
That would be wonderfully dandy.
Yes.
Go and type it right now. We're watching. Yes. Yes.
Whoa.
See, I can see you touching your keyboard.
Is that for the ladies?
That's it. Click send. Click send. Oh,
is that for the ladies? Whoa. Oh. Hey now, rated R. Rated R. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, share with your friends, leave a comment, say what's up in the comment section below, and stay visual.
Ricklock has no pants.
Perfect. The pop to end it all.
It has to end on a pop, yeah.
The cherry on top.